Hey, good morning. Tim here at the house today. I thought I'd come and talk to you guys this morning. It's been a little while since I've done a video. Sitting at the dining table today and looking towards my big room, looking outside so you can see the windows out there. Was hoping I maybe get to start sitting outside again and making the videos out on the deck and stuff. But this morning it was still kind of cool. So and windy. I didn't want to mess up my hair. Haha. But anyhow, I just kind of wanted to come and talk to you today. I've been having a lot of things going through my heart and my mind to what to talk to you about, and I hope y'all have continued to enjoy my posts that I've been doing on Facebook. I'm still allowed to be on Facebook, so as long as I'm allowed to do that, I will keep talking to you and encouraging you and talk to you about love. And of course, I always say that love is the principal thing. And it all started from that point where how much God loves us and what He has such a great life for us. And like I said, I'm here at mine and Carolyn's house and sitting at the dining table and thought I'd feed you some good food today. At the dining table, feed you some good food. So I hope you enjoy the video today. Like I said, I've been thinking about and wanting to talk to you about several things, but I want to talk to you today about living a living demonstration of love. I always thought it was very important that not only did you not only did you tell people that you love them, but you demonstrated to them, that you did. And I'll tell you a couple of little stories, at least one little story about how God has spoke to me to do some things for some people, so or a person or whatever. And so kind of getting back to our story, mine and Carolyn's marriage and our life together. And at this point of my videos, I've been talking about my life's journey in marriage and seeking out the things of God and accomplishing a lot of things and seeing a lot of demonstration of God's goodness into my life. And I hope you understand that when I talk to you about the things, and I'm touching my heart now because that's where my uh, voice will come from, my expressions will come from, is from my heart. And I'm just not talking about the blood pump in my body that pumps blood throughout my system, but I'm talking about the heart, the core of the individual. And so I always will talk to you, from that standpoint, or from that area of my life, to speaking to you out of my heart to you, and not only speaking out of my heart for you could hear with your ears, but also that you could hear and feel with your heart what the things I'm expressing to you. Like I said, at the point of our marriage, Carol and I have been married about 7 or 8 years, I guess, and I always worked on my love life with my wife. I was always wanting to improve that. That may sound kind of strange or weird, saying stuff like that, but I did. And this is something that God wants you to accomplish in your life as well, just to continue to walk. And I always say, keep walking in love. That we always want to demonstrate by walking in love towards people. Now, not everybody will be loving towards you, or will show love towards you, but you always have to have the mindset that you're going to show people love. There are some people that it seems like it's, I don't want to say impossible, but pretty close to impossible to really love them because they won't allow you. Um, and overall, in the videos I'm talking to you about love is that we want to break down these walls of distractions in your life and things that would stop you from receiving the true love of life that God has for you. And that's, I'm talking about too, being in a marriage and, relationship with your family, relationship with people, friends, and folks that you will come in contact with. Like I said, I was kind of, I don't say struggle because I don't struggle, but I was trying to decide which way that I wanted to talk to you today. I was either going to talk about, you know, uh, divine destinies or living demonstration of love. Uh, all these things fit together and will mesh together to form a great life for you. I know it has for me and will and is continuing to do that in my life as well. And even in the divine destination, divine contacts, and things like that. Like I said, I'm always working on my love walk for me. And as you understand that more, you will understand that uh, when you're working on those things, there are a lot of protection in the things that I talk about. Uh, Eventually, I will begin to talk about patience and things like that. How that's a protective thing for being patient and being deliberate about how you do certain things and not be just so uh, spontaneous combustion, if I would say, about how you approach things in life. Um, so, like I said, Carol and I had been married 7 or 8 years at this time. We were living in our first dream home. You got to start when you start dreaming. You got to dream about what you want, and then that's not a final dream that you have in your life, but it should expand on that, and it should grow and grow and grow. And I had been talking to some folks this week about, getting back to their dreams and aspirations and things they would want to do in life or was wanting to do in life. And then life's situations got in the way and it kind of diverted those dreams and aspirations and maybe you might even say goals or whatever. But I'll talk to you more about those things as well. And like I said, there's about 5 steps that I try to do to accomplish each day that I think will help you. And we'll talk about that later in later videos too. But like I said, at that time, Carol and I were. I was working at the railroad. Carolyn was a stay-home mom, so to speak. But Carolyn was always doing things. She's a definite example of a Proverbs 31 woman. How she took care of her household, how she took care of me, how she took care of. And in that time, we had Thaxton and was taking care of Thaxton and just taking care of all situations. And people say, well, how do you become those things? Well, you have to live out life and let life um, uh, show you in so many ways. But we always look at everything. I say always, I would say the majority of things that we do in life, we try to look at it biblically or spiritually, or how would God want us to do that, or how would Jesus want us to do that? How would He want us to live that life? And to actually please Him, because God is always a living demonstration of His love. I mean, everything that God did was to demonstrate how much He loved you and how much He wanted the very best for you in your life, and we'll talk more about that too. And like I said, overall, before Carolyn went on home, and we'll be celebrating that pretty soon in May. And but through those 49 years of being married here on earth with Carolyn, we were always working, again, like I said, working on our love walk, towards each other, and demonstrating our love and a living demonstration of love in our life. And I'll explain how that is a way of protection as well. We were, like I said, involved in a multi-level business, and I love multi-level marketing and things like that. Some people don't, I approach it in a different way than I would say most people do. But anyhow, we were, and I won't go into all that, but uh, we were part of a multi-level marketing business, and which most of them involves products and things like that. And I remember I had said in our home there in Silsbee on Knipple Road that we had turned our uh, double carport or double garage into a product room and a meeting room, and we were doing several different things there. I was working at the railroad, and I thought I think back on those things in a lot, and realized that I know we were involved in a lot of things, and we had a lot of dreams and things that we wanted to do, and it was um, it was amazing that at one point in our life that uh, Carolyn, being that Proverbs 31 woman, she the Lord inspired her to take a wood carving. I wish I'd have brought that so I could show it to you, but it's a ship. I say a wood carving. It's a log that was cut piece off, and it's about, I guess, about that big. And she had burned in a ship that had, and that ship had many sails, sails that the wind would catch and push the ship along. Yeah, it didn't have a motor per se, because it was an example of a ship that was moved by the wind or by sails, and so that those things all were working within our lives, and what that was, that picture had. Man, I wish I'd have brought that with me to show you. Maybe in the next video I'll get it if I can find it right quick and show it to you. But anyhow, this is a schooner type ship, like the old folks that first explored the new world would ride on with the big sails and all that. But they're talking about that example is that they're the ships, or if your life, you're a ship in life as you're moving along, and like I said, I'm talking about a living demonstration of love. That there's things that will carry you through life, and love is the biggest wind, W-I-N-D, wind, the wind blowing, that will motivate you and will push your ship along. But Carolyn had made that plaque for me, not just for me, but for the family as well. And she had burned, like I said, that ship into that wood, and that ship had the large sails and had the small sails. And see what that example was, that when the wind is not blowing as boisterous, as big as it should, well, when the wind is blowing that way, when the wind is really boisterous and big, the big sails keep you going. Then when the wind wasn't blowing that big, because it would take an effort to take that sail, the big sails, to move your ship, then you had the small sails, 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 on the ship, that the small sails would keep you going. That's the way my life has been, because God has always brought sails, not just sails on ships, but sails in business, and all that, to just kind of push the river's boat along, through life. So I didn't want to get distracted on that, but I kind of want to talk to you about that example, and to tell you where we were at. Like I said, we were doing a lot of things, and but the thing that we never did do is let those things become an idol for us in our life. We always look to God for our direction. And when I say always, I'm a human being as well. Is that maybe I didn't 100% of the time, but the majority, if I may say it that way, we tried to look to God. Now, as I gotten older, our life matured more. Well, we matured in our relationship with God, and so still not at 100%, but pretty close, letting everything be controlled in my life by what God says and how He wants to do it, because He can carry you along very, very rapidly, and He can make sure that you don't run into too many storms. But if you do, then He will show you how to handle it. And I'll talk to you about a big storm that we had in our life, before we came to the Dallas area and the things we went through. But like I said, I always was working on my love life with Carolyn. You know, uh, I'd have people say, well, how is your love life? And of course, a lot of them were wanting to talk about the physical side of love, of being married, the sexual side. And so that was something that didn't like to talk about. And when I say didn't like to talk about it, was none of their business. And it's really none of your business. But I'll demonstrate to what I was saying. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day, and said, that we're always wanting to know that. And I said, well, I made love to my wife every day, at least one time a day, if not 3 times a day. And he said, Tim, how does this get into the video? But what I'm talking about was, I talked about the 3 points of intimacy in your life, in your marriage life, where the spiritual side is, and what the mental side, or the mind side, or the soul side, may I say that, and then the physical side. So, like I said, was always demonstrating our love, a living demonstration of our love. I was always trying to think about, how could I make Carolyn's life better? How could I show her that I loved her more? And when I would do certain things, Carolyn would say, well, you don't have to do those things. I know that you love me. I said, I know that you know that I love you, but I want to demonstrate to you. I just don't want it to be said and not be carried through with some action of some sort. And that's the way God is working through my life now, walking out this life, if I may say, without Carolyn right now. I know where Carolyn's at, and she's having a glorious time where she's at, and she has won the final defeat of what life will bring, and where she's at now. She's sitting the right hand of the Father in heaven, and she's praying for us, and she's having a great time. She's having a better time than I do sometimes, but I do. I have a great life. And so, like I said, we're always trying to demonstrate our love for each other. And I'll tell you where there's protection that would come in this. The little story that I would say, I have some godchildren, I call them, goddaughters and godsons, and I'm a godfather, a godfather to a lot of people. I say a lot, a few people, and so I was wanting to demonstrate that, and because I've been talking to this one couple, and I'll tell you this other story too. But anyhow, the Lord, I was having supper with some folks, and with this family, and and God spoke to me that He wanted me to show a demonstration of love, which I did. And I won't go into that story that much, but in the second story, that I met a young man at church, and him and his family, and we've got to be very, very, very good friends. And there's kind of a standing joke that he's my son. I don't know how I got to that, but anyhow, I got to spend some time with him and his family last Sunday. Actually, I took them to eat, and so they have a small girl, a little girl that's now 6, and she had a birthday the Sunday before that. And so I was going to meet with them, and we've been trying to get together for a while, just kind of sit and talk. And I'm always working, demonstrating love, and the way that I demonstrate that is that I want to put things into people's lives that will enhance their lives, will improve their lives, will give them some insight. Now, do I have insight about everything? No, but pretty close because I have the insight of God to talk about situations and how to deal with or how to help people deal with things that are going on. Like I said, my life is where God says is I'm a blessing and I'm an encouragement to people. And that's how you demonstrate a living demonstration of love as well. So anyhow, I'm gonna finish this little story and get back to my married life and talking about that as well. Is that the Lord spoke to me that day? He said, "I want you to do something special for the little girl." And so I said, "Okay." And he said, "I want you to get a gift, an actual physical gift, And so I did. I knew what to get her, and so I did. And then he said, "I also want you to get a little small cake," and which I did. This family is real good about getting their little girl to eat right and things like that. So I had to be very careful about about those things as well. But I kind of wanted to get her a little cake, and so that was allowable. So anyhow, we were in a restaurant, and her being 6, I had also got a number 6 to put in top of the little cake, a little red velvet cake, and it was actually a sparkler, and so I didn't know how that was going to go off by being in a restaurant with a lot of sparkler inside of a restaurant. They were finally letting some people in without their mask and stuff like that, and so I guess I've been kind of rebellious on some of that. I haven't wore masks very often the whole time, So, but anyhow, we did that. I did that, and then I gave the gifts to the little girl. I think the mom and dad was kind of blown away that I would do something like that. I didn't do that thing. I didn't do those certain things, and the things that I do for you, and people that I'm talking about, what I've done for you in your life, is not to gain me more favor with you, but it's a demonstration of love towards you, and understanding that demonstration is fulfilled in my demonstration of love that God shows through me that I can impart to you. So hope I made sense about that. But anyhow, I gave the little girl a gift. The parents were just said, "You didn't have to do that." And I said, I know. People say that to me all the time. And I said, I only do what I want to do, especially what God tells me to do. So if I want to do something for you, I will, But anyhow, I got the cake. Of course, we ate first and fellowshiped and visited. And then the little girl opened the present. I wish you could have seen her eyes, her eyes just was not, she's a very precious little girl, beautiful little girl, I'd gotten up close to her, I was talking to her, and I could see her features and her face were so beautiful. And I had mentioned to a friend of mine, I said, even her little lips didn't have to have no lip gloss or or lipstick or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, but she was so beautiful. And the Lord began to speak to me. He said, that's what I see when I look at you. I said, even without lip gloss, and no, I don't wear no lip gloss, but but when I'm kind of making not fun of that, but trying to be funny as well. But that's the way God looks at us, and He sees you, how beautiful you are. There's people that I'm talking to today. You don't see yourself as beautiful, but you are. The old saying is, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Our beholder is God. That's how He sees us. He said, wow, you're such good looking folks. You're so beautiful in your features and your face. And then, like I said, when I gave her that gift, her her little eyes just sparkled, and then became so big and it was like that. It was just drawing in the view of that present. And that's the way that I want you to look at that your eyes now will be open more about love, and you'll be able to draw in that love, from life and from God and from me and from my words and the things that I speak to you about. And we will always want to, and the actual demonstration of that, and getting back to that, explaining that, is that demonstrated something to her, even though she doesn't know me that well. But I could see how it was fulfilling. And that's the way love is. Love is totally fulfilling in your life. It's so wonderful to be loved. I talked about I love to love, and I like to love, and I love being loved, and I just love love. And so demonstrating love will bring the visuals that you need to see, the things that you need to comprehend in your life. And everyone is made to be loved. Everyone. I was talking to a young lady, and I was just expressing to her in the best way that I could. And as it seemed like the more that I would talk, the more the Holy Spirit would give me to say, and to encourage and never put down, or just always lifting up. And that's the way love is. True love is never depressing. True love is never pressing down. True love, and the true love of the Father, the true love in marriage and thing, it's never depressive. It's never weighty. It's never a drudgery. It's always light, and it's fulfilling, and it's totally demonstrating all the time about how important it is. I talk about that love is the principal thing of life. If you want to know the truth about it too, that love is life giving too. It's life in that love. If you're experiencing anything besides that type of love, that's not life. That's taking life away. Love does not do that. So and I think I was always working on, how can I love my wife more? How can I show her? How can I show her and demonstrate it to her? And again, I talked about giving these things to folks and stuff like that as the Lord leads me. I'll only do it as the Lord leads me to do it. I could see that in that little girl, and that was a living demonstration, not only for her and for her family, but it was for me to see as well. And so, like I said, I was always working on trying to demonstrate my love. And same way with Carolyn, was always trying to demonstrate back to me how much she loved me. Not only the things she would do to me, just her presence being there, just her company being there, and just to be able to feel that, because of all that was coming out of the Lord for us in our lives, and that's so exciting and so fulfilling. And so, like I said, I was always working on trying to demonstrate my love. And I do that now. Not only, I can't demonstrate it now to Carolyn, because Carolyn's has went on to our other home, and so God is telling me, Tim, you need to demonstrate love to people. And I would do it the best I know how, and the only way that I know to do it the best I know how is how God wants me to do it. So, like I said, there's really protection in that too, and because if you don't have that, then you're moved by other things, and those other things that are not the true living demonstration of love will cause you harm, and will not be healthy, will not be good for you. And like I said, it's not always the giving and the gifts of it. It's the heart of giving. It's not just how big the gift is, or how little the gift is, or how expensive the gift is, or how inexpensive the gift is, or how acceptable the gift is. It's the demonstration of it. It's always demonstrating love to people, always demonstrating love to people. Like I said, not everybody will accept that. And you know what? That's okay too, because you never stop doing that. You always work on doing that, work on a living demonstration of love. Well, I'm looking at my phone right now, and I'm about to run out of time on this first video, but I'm gonna pick up on that in the second video, maybe the third video today, and I'll talk to you more about that, and I'll show you how that protects you. But I want to say what Carolyn always says, has always said, and I will say to you today: we are eternal, and I will talk to you in a few minutes. Okay? Thank you.